Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and I'm here with Mr. Sam Green. Sam, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jared. How are you?
I am good. Sam is a high school student who sent me an email because he is looking to go to Antonelli Institute, and I just had a question. How did you hear about Antonelli, first off?
I heard about Antonelli through your website.
All right, cool. And that's a good thing. I mean, that's where I went to school. It's a great school, and so I guess you gave them a call, you set up an appointment to go there, and they told you that you need to bring a portfolio of 10 images.
Correct.
All right, so Sam reached out to me and was like, well, what do? I don't know how, I don't have a portfolio, I haven't created this. The reason they ask for a portfolio at the school is so that they can see that, you know, somebody coming in has already taken the initiative to start shooting, to start, you know, showing what they can do. And they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna look for, you know, the images and say, oh, well, you're not technically correct here, because the whole point of going to school is to get an education. So they just want to see that a foundation is there, that you're starting along your way. So it's our goal right now to go through Sam's Flickr photo stream here and just see what we like. Try to get 10 images, maybe get more, and then go down and whittle it out just so we can see what the best 10 images are to take to Antonelli. So you ready to go for this? You ready for everybody to see this?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, good, because I thought it would be a good idea to show everybody. So I'm just going to go through here pretty quick. Actually, we're going to go through this way where I click just older until I see something I like. Why don't you tell everybody, is there something that interests you at this point? Or it's just a general photography interests you?
At this point, it's still kind of just general photography, trying to do anything I can. I'm not really sure exactly what it is.
So you're just trying to find your way right now?
Yeah.
All right. This image grabs me just a little bit. It's interesting because it's a little different than what we've seen so far. So mostly we've had the people. So I'm just going to start a folder over here that I drop in as we go through. So I don't think you need your notebook for this one.
All right.
Yeah, because we're just going to go through and I'll grab them. So this is interesting, but I don't think it's something that they're going to look for. All right, now we're getting into architecture. I know I asked this a little bit before when we were talking. Is there one thing that really is a direction that you want to go? Is there a type of thing that you like photographing that you want to do more of?
It's kind of hard to say at this point. Still have my camera for less than a year now, so I'm still fairly new.
But you know that you like photography.
Definitely.
And that's why you want to go to school. All right, so we're going to go through here. I'm just looking for things that catch my eye, that pop out as something that could spark an interest, that's showing that you're seeing the world a little different, right? So this one definitely does that. You know, I see this image and I'm like, all right, I love the colors. I love the angles that are there. I like the frame that you use. There's some interest in it. So this one, I think, you know, we pick it. So far, we'll come back to it later and see what we get. This is interesting. I just not sure that we've got the focus tack on. What is it?
It was on that same bridge as the last photo. It was like this chain. I guess it was for boats to tie off to it.
Oh, so it's very difficult to get a feel for that.
Yeah, it was just kind of a spur of the moment.
Okay. While we're at it, why don't we just critique it? Just yeah, that was very hard to see. I guess this is the pylon and this is water. You're shooting straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this case, I mean, I would try to have a little bit more in focus or come back at a different angle so that you can, you're still seeing my screen, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that you could see more of the chain and where it's going to give it a little bit more interest. This is good. We're going to take this one because it's the color. You know, you've got the color going on here. You've got the sky. You've got just different angles. I love intersecting angles in images, so that's why we're going to pop that one out there and pop that into the folder. So we're doing good here so far. And if there's something that you really, really love, then yell at me and explain to me why you like it and why you feel that it should be there. So right. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to... no. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I would come in tighter. I like how I think what you were trying to do here is get the historic landmark thing in there and get the bridge, because that's the historic part, right?
Yeah, it just, my lens wasn't wide enough, or I couldn't figure out. It just wasn't how I imagined it.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's not far. It's not far off. I'm going to have to send you one of these keychain things. That's what I have out here.
I actually have one somewhere around
here. Oh, you
here.
have one?
Yeah, when I ordered a shirt.
Oh, cool, cool. Something you could have done with this image is you can come in a little tighter to the historic thing and just shoot the historic plaque in black and white as part of the story. Like that leads it off, and then you could do 10 images of the bridge. Is this Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I Justine was just dancing on this bridge. Is this the one? Yeah, you'll take a look later at I Justine dancing on a bridge.
I don't know. There's like 10 yellow bridges.
Oh, the freaking Penguins. Everybody hates the Penguins and Sidney Crosby.
Well, I'm not going to fight you about it. Photography, we're not going to fight.
Oh, we're not talking about hockey?
I mean, if you want.
All right. I love hockey, but I actually was, when I was in L.A., I went to the Penguins game in L.A. And here we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through this mean. I don't like the mean thing. It doesn't interest me very much. But you could go to a bridge and challenge yourself to do 10 photos, not just 10, but see things differently. Tell the story of the bridge. Cover every angle of it, and then you'd be set with like a photo story that they would love. Because I may send you back out to keep shooting.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what we'll do is we'll see the final ones that we pick, and then determine what we need to do next from there. So I'm just looking for things that jump out at me as we do this. I mean,
I really like it was back a couple. Like the stick in the grass.
Okay, what do you like about it?
Not really sure. I guess I like how the bokeh turned out in the background.
Okay, well, we'll put it to the side because this is your portfolio, and we'll come back to that after. And we'll keep going. Yeah, so basically, everybody, what I'm doing here is I'm just looking for something that grabs my attention as I'm going by, because we're trying to get to 10 images. If it's more than 10, I'm sure they won't worry. But maybe we're going to give Sam here some ideas, because when do you need to have this done by?
I'm going out December 17th.
So you have a little bit more time, and do you have to have the thing printed?
I think just on a CD or like a flash drive.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll just give you a photo book, and you'll take one of those too.
That could work.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. The dog, it's close. It's close. It's not quite there. I think it's the processing is throwing this off. It's a little. Was your exposure wrong when you were doing this one?
Yeah, that one was like I really, really like the angle and how it was kind of with the head coming at me. But I was just kind of goofing around in the middle of raking leaves, and my exposure was way off.
And do you know how I knew? I could tell. I could tell just by the way that you know, was it shot raw?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell though that it was really far off and brought back just by looking at the tones here. I like the angle. We're gonna throw it off to the side anyway because you could possibly go redo it.
Yeah, I tried to get him to do it again.
Yeah, that always happens. But it's not bad. It's not bad. But we can see that the exposure's off. But and this guy's holding the camera wrong.
Yeah, that was first day he got it.
Yeah, smack him in the head.
I've been pointing him in the direction of your site, so.
All right, cool. If you process this a little different, I think it would be better.
Yeah, I think that one also was, like the exposure was way off on it, and I tried to save it.
So were you underexposed or over? Was it too dark or too bright?
I'd have to check the raw file, but I think it was overexposed.
Well, if it was over, then it was too bright.
Yeah.
So you had to bring it really far back. Do you know how far back you brought it?
I can't remember offhand.
Right. Not a big deal. How are you? Let's ask, how are you exposing? Are you in auto, or are you in manual at this point?
I've been in manual since I took it out of the box. I'm just trying to like force myself to figure out what I'm doing wrong.
All right, so 412s is the area code, I'm assuming?
Correct.
All right, let's throw this off to the side. Some of these I may have you recorrect.
Okay.
You know, just so that you could bring the best of the image, because it's a little dark. You know, this one you could probably bump the exposure slightly and then pump up that contrast a little more, because it could be a really thick black and white that would work.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting somewhere with this. The guy's got the gloves on. He's got the camera on. This is a black and white image. If you go black and white here, make it high contrast, it's going to look like he's working at the steel mill. I mean, you've got steel mills. Can you go walk through them there?
It's kind of frowned upon, but...
All right, well...
Yeah, like this is like an old coke furnace that we were at.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't really supposed to be there, but, you know. details.
Yeah, we're gonna work you with details a little bit more. You're starting to do it here. What lenses do you have?
I only have the 18 to 55 and 55 to 200.
All right, that's cool. I mean, you can make that work. Yeah, I may send you back out to do some shooting and give you some tips. This is interesting.
I really like the way the color came out on that one.
Right, the color's good on this, so we'll pull it out too because of the colors. The image itself isn't it's not something that it's uber duper spectacular, but
right.
We know that you've been shooting for just a year or less.
I got my DSLR in, I think it was April. So.
All right. I mean, so you're getting. I mean, you're just starting off. I mean, this is the whole point. All right, something like this, definite black and white. My rule, not rule of thumb, but this is what I see. I see that this is very old world looking. Did you pop the flash on this one?
Yeah, because it was really dark. It's kind of like in a hole there, so...
All right, so
flash.
What I would say for something like this, convert to black and white, pump up your contrast, make things really pop, and get that old world feel, Go that direction, because it instead of just looking really, really plain, because it looks really plain.
I like that last one, that one. I actually made a print of that one for my friend. It turned out really nice.
All right, well then... If this grabs you, then we're going to take it off to the side. Because this is your portfolio, not mine. Right?
Yep.
And we're just going to get you set with this so that they're going to be happy for you. Interesting. Interesting. The focus is a little off there, right?
Yeah. That was a really kind of spur-of-the-moment shot. It was like way up on a ladder and just...
Same thing here. Try black and white with this bad boy.
Okay.
Because the colors just, for me, lose it. Yeah, we need to get you some more contrast. And we need to get you working on that exposure stuff so that you can work your files. Because it looks like the exposures are a little off, right?
Yeah, them always seem to be a little bit off.
Why do you think that is?
Probably just not paying attention to changing in light.
Okay. Now, have you tried aperture priority at all?
Not really.
Try it a little bit. Try aperture priority. What it will do is you set your aperture to what you want it to be. So with your 18 to 55, if you set it to 3.5, you know that when you zoom out to 55, it's going to automatically change it, but it's going to set your shutter speed automatically for you. Okay. So it's going to give you 9 out of 10 times it's going to be pretty good. But you can also switch to spot metering if needed to meter just for, say, the bridge or the underside, the shadow area in the bridge. And then when you get a photo of that, you can then look at it and go, all right, this is where my exposure's at. I think I want to try it in manual and see what direction I can go with it. So you start an aperture priority that gives you a base setting for what you can do in manual, and then you can tweak from there with your manual.
Okay, yeah, it's probably a good idea.
It's definitely a good idea. This isn't bad. It's interesting. But we're still going to keep going here. Because you've got some time to go shoot. So I'm going to give you some pointers. It's all about composition. Seeing the images. Finding interest in things that may not have interest.
Right.
Because I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it in these. I want to see how you can tell the story better, just by looking at these. Is this an old train that doesn't move anymore?
Yeah, I would assume so. At least it wasn't moving when we were there.
I hope so. Are we almost near the end here, or are there a lot more?
I'm not really sure. We're near the end of this trip to that old coke furnace.
Some repeats in here.
Yeah, I have to figure that out at some point.
Yes. I mean, again, if you threw this into black and white. Here's a tip, though. I would shoot a little wider. If you're going to cut off his wrists right there, you don't really want to do that because it's important. That's like something that it looks weird the way that it's cut off. You can come in tighter, You know, you can go in tighter, throw him off to the left hand side of the frame a little more, because right now where he's at, it's a little awkward in terms of composition. So I would step in or zoom in, fill the frame a little bit more, possibly even go vertical so that you can keep the camera in there and his hands. And then pump this up in black and white because it would give it that cool old world feel. All right, we're still going through.
Yeah, I don't know if there's so many doubles. Sorry.
Yeah, there's doubles.
What the heck?
That's all right. It's all a learning process. People are watching. They're just gonna, you know, hopefully get some tips as well. So you know, you're seeing the details. Something like this here. This was taken with, I'm gonna venture to say well, I'm not gonna venture to guess, 40 millimeters. So this was your 18 to 55.
Yep.
At f7.1. What are you in manual?
Yeah.
Why are you at 7.1?
Because I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, that's okay. That's okay. Recommendation here: break out the 55 to 200. Back really far away. Shoot this with the all the way out at 200, or near the tail end. You're going to be at 5.6. Make sure your aperture stays at the widest opening. At this case, with the 55 to 200, it's going to be 5.6. But what's going to happen when you're further away and you zoom in and you fill the frame the exact same way, the background's going to blow out, which is going to create more interest in your images. So instead of doing tighter shots like this with wider angle lenses, do a tighter shot from a distance with the 55 to 200, and you're going to watch the background blow out. Because right now it just looks like a snapshot. Like, hey, I see this graffiti on here. Why don't I take a snapshot of it, right? But if you try it with the 55 to 200, I'm going to give you an assignment after this. Because is that all right? You've got the weekend to go shoot?
Yeah.
All right, good. We're going to do that. I want to keep going through here. We'll see if anything else grabs us. That's interesting.
That was like one of the first things I shot.
There it is. There, you did a black and white. Look. See? This is a very well-processed black and white. This is really good. Nice, thick colors or tones.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the way that one turned out.
Yeah, I mean, you have a nice style for capturing this. This is good. So that's what lens we're using here? 55 to 200 or no? 18 to 55 at 55?
Yeah, I think I was...
18 to 55, yep.
Yeah.
You could do the same thing with the 55 to 200 as well. And you can stand further back. I mean, this looks really good, so there's not much else to say about it. But in the future, you could stand further back with the 200 out at, you know, around 200, 150 to 200, and it will really. This is great composition. This is a really good shot. So this is a must use. This is close, but I'm gonna keep going because it's kind of like trying very hard to find something, you know. Same thing with the Sprite bottle. I'm going to say it also with this. I saw it in color before. If you pump your black and whites, make them much thicker, you know, less gray tones, because you know this is stuck right in the middle, I think it would pop even more.
Okay.
But you are looking for details. I mean, we can tell that.
Now we're getting to, I think this was like hours after I got it out of the box.
All right. Well, if you want me to stop here, then just tell me.
But this is getting into stuff where I wasn't even on the
You weren't ready yet.
This is just
playing around.
Yeah, I think it was with the point and shoot from a while back, so we can probably
We've got 9 images here. This is a must-have. This is a definite. All right, so make sure to grab this one.
Okay.
Something like this, I mean, that's up to you. And then you can explain to them why you like this or what you were going for. I think you probably like it because of the selective depth of field. You find it interesting that you're able to blow the background out, which is good. It doesn't have as much interest in the image for me. But if something grabs you about it, then, you know, feel free to use it. This, I don't think is as strong. The colors are good, but I don't think it's that strong of an image.
Yeah, I agree. It was more just cool for the colors.
Same thing, the 412. The dog's cool. It's obviously you had to bring it back, but I don't think that it would be a problem not to use this. You know, I think you could use that. The stick one, really doesn't grab me as much unless it was like the dog and then the stick, and because order plays a major part in these photos, in a portfolio, how you do it.
Right.
This is very good. This is really good. This is probably taken at like 55 millimeters or something like that. And then it takes us to this. So I think we've got some things for you to build on. This is good. I mean, who's this guy?
That's my friend Dylan.
All right, what's he do?
I think that was after a track meet or something, but he's a fellow photographer of mine, friend of mine, and...
All right, so what I would say here, do you like this type of stuff with the bridge?
Yeah.
All right, so what I would probably do is do a couple of your buddy here. I mean, this is really good. So if he's into track, then do some portraits of him out by the track. Use the 55 to 200 to help you blow out the background, because remember this, wide angle lenses expand and telephoto zoom lenses compress. The further out you go, so like 300 millimeters is going to compress the background. And I'm showing everybody the expansion process here. When you shoot wide angle, the depth of field expands because it expands. When you shoot with a telephoto lens, everything's going to compress. So when you focus on Dylan, you said Dylan?
Yeah.
When you focus here on Dylan with like a 200 millimeter, you're compressing the focus area here, and then the background's going to totally blow out. I like this shot. I think you should build off of things like this. Maybe even find 10 different people to do portraits of them in their environment, like at school, or ask some teachers if you could take their photos in front of the Bunsen burner, in front of the class, in front of something interesting. Look for interesting backgrounds or things in the classroom that you could capture really interesting images. I would probably use like the 55 to 200 to try to get some cooler portraits, so that you can blow the backgrounds out more or blow the foregrounds out. I'm a big fan of using things in the foreground to help draw you into the image. For example, if there's like a Bunsen burner and that's in the bottom corner and that's out of focus and that's drawing you into the science teacher, it's creating dimension in the image.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's what I mean, I really think this is strong. This is a strong portrait, and if this is a direction that you would like to go, I'd say find 5 people, do 5 pictures like this, and then do 5 pictures where you go back out to the bridge and you look for different angles and you look for different repeating lines, and you try to tell a story in 5 images of the bridge. So look for interesting things. Try it with different lenses, different focal lengths, just so that you can see what's going to work better. All right.
Okay.
But I would try to ask a teacher. I'm sure there's teachers that would pose for you. Tell them what you're doing. You want to always think about this. Who they are, what is the idea you're trying to get across? What are you trying to capture? So if it's a science teacher, what could they be doing that represents science? There's going to be the science books that are on their desk. They could be sitting at the desk correcting homework, or doing their lessons plan. So it doesn't always have to be set up per se, but you could have them say, hey, sit there in front of your desk, sit there on your desk on the corner of it and fold your arms and lean back nice and relaxed. Like lean back like this is my classroom, I own it. So it's just you and the teacher, and you're using the chairs in the bottom corner of the image to like draw you into the teacher standing at the desk. So how you have a row of chairs? Yeah. Desks or something, one's on the left, one's on the right. So if you stood further back, used the 55 to 200, the teacher's right in the middle of those two, the desks, but at their desk, focus in on them. You'll probably shoot it at 5.6 with your 200. Do a full frame vertical, head to toe, leave a little bit of room, then step in closer, fill the frame a little more, until you come in to get a final headshot. But this way, you're getting a lot of different angles, and you're just going to see what works out best. That's what I'd like to see you do. I'd like to see you do 5 of these different portraits with different people. You can use this one for Dylan. And then I'd like to see you try what you go out and get outside at that bridge or a different bridge. Or anywhere that you can show different, texture. So you're giving them something different to look at. One, you're going to show them these portraits, and I call them, they're environmental portraits, where you're taking photos of people in their natural environment. And the others are showing that, look, I can direct people, but then I can also go out on my own and find the images that are out there. Sound good?
Sounds great.
So do that this weekend if you can, and then let's reconvene and do this again.
All right.
Until we have your final 10 images. But you can definitely count this image in. I think from the folder,
Yeah.
I would pick this. And then we'll work on an order, and then we'll get you a book to put together.
All right.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Yep, no problem. Send me some messages when you go out and shoot, and let's see what you get.
All right.
All right, man. Have fun shooting, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so until next time, I know this was a long video, but I hope you like the interaction that's going on. If you sat through it, there's going to be more because Sam's going to go out and shoot again, and we'll figure out what the best 10 images are for him to show to Antonelli Institute so he can get accepted to go to school. And that is going to be it. Sam, get a good night's sleep. You've got school tomorrow.
I'll try.
All right, Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya!